24-1. The one interception, by the way, was in the one game they lost. They were down 9, 4th and 7, and he throws an interception because he's trying to win the game. Like a kind of sort of interception. 24-1. This dude is sort of. Yeah, I mean, like he threw an interception, but you see why.
Close games this season.
But you see why.
Chiefs.
He is the best I've ever seen do it. And we're already in the territory with Mahomes where we're starting to look for like consolation prizes for everyone else. We're going to start to get, because 50-12 MVP, better touchdown interception ratio, Super Bowl MVP. This year he's going to throw maybe 50-plus touchdowns, fewer interceptions, better touchdown interception ratio than either of the first 2 years, may win MVP and Super Bowl MVP. We're already approaching territory that we did with Jordan in the NBA, where people would get like, oh, we can't give Jordan the MVP again. He's going to win the champ, the chip MVP anyway. All right, we'll give one to Barkley, we'll give one to Malone, we'll give one to whoever. Come on, stop. It was MJ every year back then. It's Mahomes every year now. The dude is the best I've ever seen do it. He's had the best start of his career of all time. He's the best in the NFL right now. And yes, he's being taken for granted.
Well, I disagree. And I will tell you that I'm not even sure he's the best ever yet. I think that he's phenomenal. I think he's great. And I do think that he should be the leading candidate for league MVP honors right now. But I think that I don't believe that I'm seeing things from him that I never saw from Aaron Rodgers. I don't believe that. I think Aaron Rodgers has been phenomenal. OK, I'm talking about over the course of his career. Let's see if he continues to do what he's going to do, and we can have that discussion. But to sit up there and to say we're seeing things from Patrick Mahomes we have never, ever, ever seen from anybody else, I beg to differ. That's number one. Number two, even though I've got him number one in the league for league MVP right now, that certainly wasn't the case as a few weeks ago. Now, we saw Russell Wilson turn the ball over 4 times yesterday. We saw Aaron Rodgers obviously wet the bed against Tampa Bay. And that's where things change. But I would remind you that prior to those things, I think it was nip and tuck. I mean, when you look at Russell Wilson, he's completing over 71% of his passes. You look at Aaron Rodgers, yes, Patrick Mahomes, 25 touchdowns, just 1 interception, completing nearly 67% of his passes. You look at Aaron Rodgers, 24 touchdowns, just 2 interceptions. He's completing 67.5% of his passes. Oh, by the way, those 2 interceptions that Aaron Rodgers had was against Tampa. Every other game this year, he has not thrown a single interception against anyone. The brother has been phenomenal. And so when I look at it from that perspective, again, I'm going to give Patrick Mahomes his props because I know the brother can play. But I'm also imagining, what if Aaron Rodgers had Tyreek Hill and Sammy Watkins and McCole Hardman and Travis Kelce? I mean, if he had all of those brothers plus a Clyde Edwards-Helaire, what would he be doing? I can ask that question since you and others have asked similar questions about other people in the past. Imagine if Aaron Rodgers, instead of the Green Bay Packers drafting his successor, scheduled to play 3 to 4 years from now, instead of drafting a running back, or a wide receiver rather, what would have happened? We do recall that Green Bay had picks, all right, prior to A.J. Brown and D.K. Metcalf being drafted. They could have had themselves a D.K. Metcalf, Aaron Rodgers. What about that? I look at stuff like that, and I don't look at it as being as this divide that you try to hype and put forth. I just don't believe that. Patrick Mahomes is a stud. He's spectacular, and he should be the leading candidate for league MVP honors right now. But to act like he's doing stuff that we've never, ever, ever seen. Marino Ryan with Mark Super Duper and Mark Clayton. Dan Fouts with Charlie Joyner and Kellen Winslow Sr. I mean, to sit there and act like Patrick Mahomes is doing something we've never seen. Max, I got news for you. He throws the football very damn well, which is what a quarterback's job is.
Rodgers is in the category with Mahomes.
Last time I checked, they did it. Those great quarterbacks that I mentioned did that, and Aaron Rodgers has done it with far less talent available to him. Floor is yours, Ryan.
Yeah, Ryan, I'm with you. They're in the same category. Ryan, who's the best you've ever seen, though? If you had to say one.
No, I can't. They are 1A and 1B, and I was going to say that without a doubt, being on the field with Aaron Rodgers is different, right? Getting an opportunity to play. I mean, I got to play Tom Brady. I got to play Drew Brees. I felt like there were things that Tom Brady and Drew Brees could do schematically, that they can understand about our defense, their offense, where they could find ways to make plays. I felt like we could be absolutely perfect, which we were a few times against Aaron Rodgers and still get beat. I didn't feel that way when I played Drew Brees. I even didn't feel that way with Tom Brady, and they beat us all the time because he beat us here. From a talent standpoint, Aaron Rodgers is the best I'd ever played. And I would come on and I would say it and I would talk about it and I would praise him and I would rave about him. And then I saw Patrick Mahomes, and it was the first time in my mind I ever thought, this dude might be better, though. He might be able to do some things that Aaron Rodgers can't do. And what I have seen and what I have learned and what I have come to is that Patrick Mahomes is willing to try some things that Aaron Rodgers won't try or that Aaron Rodgers wouldn't try. Like, you remember when Aaron Rodgers would go to Seattle and he could go 4 quarters and never throw the ball to Richard Sherman's side? Patrick Mahomes isn't doing that. If Richard Sherman is lined up over Tyreek Hill and he's following Tyreek Hill in his prime, he was going to get a football. He was going to get an opportunity because Patrick Mahomes believed he was better than that guy. And the point we've gotten to is, Stephen A., you're right. Aaron Rodgers did some things. We got to this point with Aaron Rodgers, too, where Aaron Rodgers was always being compared to the best Aaron Rodgers had ever been. And we're the same way with Patrick Mahomes. We have Patrick Mahomes fatigue, but it took us 2 years. It didn't take us a career. It didn't take us a decade. It took us 2 years to get Patrick Mahomes fatigue. It took us 2 years to start rooting for the other great stories in football. Man, let's root for Russ. We want Russ to do it. And Russ is balling. But we wanted Russ to do it because we wanted to see something different. We felt like he deserved his time. Even though Patrick Mahomes only did it for 2 years. Last year, Lamar Jackson, we were like, ooh, Patrick Mahomes is hurt. We have never seen anybody play the quarterback position like this. Ooh, we got it. We love Lamar, and Lamar deserved it. But Josh Allen early on this year, or even Tom Brady when he starts creeping in. And now Aaron Rodgers is somebody we focus on again because he had a dip. Right? He had a dip, and now he has a story. Y'all drafted his successor. Y'all didn't get him weapons on the outside. And so now we look at the things that Aaron Rodgers does through a different prism. But Patrick Mahomes doesn't have that. He's still in the same place with all these great weapons and this great coach, and we do take it for granted.
Ryan, I co-sign everything you just said. We're on the same page about that, but I want to bring it to you, Stephen A. It's not just the weapons. Maybe if Rodgers had Andy Reid, right? Maybe if he had a quarterback whisperer like that throughout his career, it'd be different. But he didn't. He didn't. Like the Tom Brady-Peyton Manning debate, it was Tom Brady had better coaching. Peyton Manning, and Tom Brady was better when it counted most, but Peyton Manning was putting up much better numbers in the regular season. When Brady started putting up those Peyton numbers, it was like, okay, I guess the debate's over, right? Patrick Mahomes is like everyone rolled into one here. Yes, Rodgers and Mahomes are comparable. Stephen A., I agree. They're in their own category of everyone I've ever seen. Mahomes and Rodgers, 1A, 1B. I'm not saying Mahomes is so much different than Rodgers that way. I'm saying if I had to pick, I'll take Mahomes so far. I think the highest heights he's hit are even higher than Rodgers, but it's close that way. But Mahomes is also set up differently. He has a great coach, a quarterback-friendly coach. He has weapons everywhere. He is willing to take risks in ways that Rodgers probably isn't. I do agree with that assessment. He's a little more Favre in him, but without the mistakes that Favre made. He's set up in a way where already, the whole point is already there's the fatigue that Ryan mentioned. That's what I mean. MVP, Super Bowl MVP, might do it both already, so we're looking for sympathy awards for other players already.
Well, you could feel that way. I can tell you that here's what's embarrassing about ESPN. And I say ESPN because I'm going to tell you exactly what it is. And I've been on the record. I've pointed this out on many occasions in the past. You remember years ago when Brett Favre was playing and he tripped over and scoop an underhanded pass to a receiver, or he'll jump into the arms of his offensive lineman, and you have people all over ESPN. Oh, look at him. Look at him. I mean, he throws the ball underhanded. Oh, look at him jump in the arms of his offensive lineman. The little kid is still in him. It's never left. I mean, you have folks who were professional analysts fawning over Brett Favre, like just embarrassingly, all right? And why do I bring that up? Because we're talking about Patrick Mahomes right now. Patrick Mahomes is a superstar. He is a stud. Now, he won a Super Bowl in his second season. His first season, he dropped 50 touchdowns on you. Second season, a 24-point drop from 50 to 26 touchdowns. But that's neither here nor there because he missed a game or two. Here's my point, though. What is it? And I appreciate your point, Ryan, about him taking chances that Aaron Rodgers may have never took. But I recall the personnel that you're working with having something to do with that. Yeah, he might not have thrown the Richard Sherman side of the ball, but who did he have? And so when I'm looking at it, I'm asking a simple question. When we see Patrick Mahomes, he tossed the ball sideways to somebody yesterday, or he throws an underhanded pass, whatever. Is there anything